Obligatory podcast intro.
Hello and welcome. This is Flipping Pages with Matt and Adam. I'm Matt with my co-host Adam, and this show is where we take all 93 letters of the alphabet, we put them in a pill bottle, and we each draw a letter and then pick a comic that begins with that letter. I don't know his, he does not know mine. Spoilers ahead for these two comics, for sure. And if you want to say hi to us, come by. We're on Facebook, X, and Instagram. Yeah, we're not on X, sorry.
Not
Facebook
really.
and Instagram.
Yes.
Come give us a shout. So, what we got? I got C.
Yeah, we got it in a row this time.
Oh, you got B.
Yeah.
Got B and C.
Yeah.
All right, so I got C. I got this one. It's called Colonus. Colonus.
Yeah.
So it was done by Ken Pisani and Arturo Loria.
Okay.
It's Dark Horse, and I don't know the year. All right, so this world is really cool.
Yeah.
It's very man, it's like holding a mirror to Earth or America's soul.
Yeah.
No, you'll see what I'm talking about. But
All right.
no, it's crazy. So, real quick, it's in space. Earth is pretty much done for,
Okay.
but it's not. It's very sci-fi, except there are no aliens. It's all humans, and it's all within the realm of somewhat capable.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, we start. There's a ship flying towards a planet. Can't see what it is, and it's a man narrating saying these ships don't come often. They have to travel for 100 million kilometers from Mars to Venus, and that's 3 months of eating paste.
Yeah.
So he's
right.
like, no one wants to do that. Also, what sucks is they got to fly past Earth and look at their previous mistakes, our huge fuck up, basically.
Yeah.
So it's a long way, and they're traveling, and Earth just looks like gray now. It's just depleted. Yeah, so he's talking about how when it came time to colonize, all the rich and smart people went to Mars, and then they were like, hey, let's kind of keep this ours, and
Yeah.
let's send all the rogue scientists, the addicts, the blue collar guy, the scum and the lower class, basically. Let's send them to Venus.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it opens up. Yeah, it gets into how they're able to survive and shit.
Right.
They figured it out, all right? Oh, it's way in the future, too, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Way in the future. I don't remember. It doesn't say it in the actual comic, but it might be 3,000 something.
Oh, really? Okay.
So pretty damn far, right?
actually, far. Yeah.
Very far. So as he's narrating it, it shows him meeting this guy. We find out it's a messenger from Mars.
Oh,
And he's basically like, dude, this shit's impressive. We like what we're seeing. How about we mix it up? You let us come over here. We'll let some of your people come over there. And he's like, no, man.
Yeah.
We're gonna wake up in chains. Fuck no, man. You don't understand us. So he's saying how impressed he is because they have floating cities, right? So in an altitude at 50 kilometers, the pressure and temperature of Venus is precisely Earth-like.
Nice. 50
And-
kilometers up.
Yeah. So in the air,
Yeah.
and a dense carbon dioxide atmosphere, breathable oxygen nitrogen mix has nearly as much lift as helium. So at a certain height, the city floats.
Oh, nice.
So a year ago, they did their first city, and they're just now sent up their second city, which he was like, it's basically like a flag to Mars saying, come screw this up.
Oh,
You know what I
okay,
mean?
okay.
So like I said, it's all the rich people, it's all the businessmen over there.
Right.
It's an open for business sign, basically. He's narrating, talking about his grandfather, how his grandfather was the first leader of the expedition from Earth to Venus.
Oh, okay.
So he brought everyone.
That's gnarly.
He brought his son, and his son, our main character's father. Sorry,
Yeah.
there's a lot of that. Main character's father. He was 5 when he left Earth, so he says he still remembers the smell of it. Smelled like piss and sulfur, and they're like, Venus only smells like piss. So that's something.
It's an improvement.
A little bit, right? Oh, yeah. So the Mars guy that he's talking to is like, oh, we face similar conditions as well, like harsh conditions. The decalcification of bone in such lower gravity, a crazy orbit resulting in super bitter cold temperature spikes. And our main character is like, oh, you solved that last one, though. He's like, y'all started building factories, and you know how long, or you know what it takes to pollute an Earth and warm it up, basically. You did it back on Earth, all your factories and everything, putting out all this, mess that's messing up the world. He's like, you're doing it on Mars with basically impunity. No one there to stop you. You show up and go, let's get this going, get this industry rolling.
Right.
It'll warm this bitch up. So 3 generations of them just like putting all this filth and toxic bullshit into the air.
Right.
Mars has gotten really warm and toasty now, not cold.
Yeah.
So he's like, and now you want to come do it here, basically. Like, I know what your plan is, man. Like, it's the opportunity for your corporations to come in here and you're just going to screw everything up. So he's like, no, man, you don't understand. You made this habitable. It's kind of incredible, like, knowing what you had to work with your grandpa and your mom, because they ran shit before you.
It's a generational project.
Yeah, so he starts breaking. He's like, you don't understand us. He's like, all right, look, this is a shovel. Someone buys a bunch of these shovels and sells them at a price to make a profit. Saying he sells it at a decent price so everyone's happy.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, from Mars, he's like, yeah, we don't understand you at all.
Right, what?
Oh, he says at the end, he goes, Venus is viable. Stop being a fucking hog. This shit's going to happen anyway. We're coming. And don't kill the messenger. It is just like clung. And he just smashed him in the head with the shovel. So
Good.
Messenger's dead.
Yeah.
So now we meet our main character who was having the conversation. His name is Braxton. He's the leader of Venus right now.
Okay.
And he's chilling on Tiberius, their first floating city.
Nice.
So he starts narrating again. He goes, yeah, his men were already dead and his ship was already stripped for parts. And he's like, so he's showing him burying him out back. So he's got a full space suit on. So he's outside of the wall.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a giant floating city surrounded by basically a dome.
Oh, okay.
And it's more cylinder than circular. So it's very tall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cylinder, gotcha.
So he's burying him. Now it cuts to Mars, right? Now there's like a big council. This is the chancellor, the leader of Mars, basically the snobbiest, richest douchebag of Mars.
Whoever sent the guy, basically.
So they're at a little round table. His little cronies and dudes are like, see, I told you they weren't going to come back. He's like, he's fucking killing them.
Yeah.
Like, we can't.
We told you, bro.
We told you. And he's like, they're like popes or kings. They're like passing their shitty existence down, their shitty rule of this shitty city.
Nepotism just all the way up.
Because Grandpa ran it when he showed up, because he basically established Venus. And then when he died, the mom took over. And then when she was too old, Braxton, our main character, took over. So that's where we're at now.
Okay.
So they were like, the chancellor, and he's so douchey.
Oh, they drew him super douchey,
Yeah,
mousy,
the
kind of weaselly looking.
Super weaselly.
He's got a Hitler haircut, too.
Oh, yeah.
That's right?
Yeah.
Let me see it again.
Oh, yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah, no, that's what that is.
That just spells dictator, bro.
Yeah.
Did you ever play Dishonored?
Barely. I watched you play it some, but Oliver also played it.
The bad guys look real skeevy,
yes,
real long,
very ratty,
faces.
and they stand, and their movements are real ratty.
This art reminds me of that game.
I could see
enemies in that
it's
game.
Kind of angular.
Oh yeah, very, and all their faces are very long. I guess I'll do it right now.
Yeah, how are the faces?
How are
Matt?
the faces? They're great. Like it's a very interesting style. So it's not just, oh, they did normal faces and they did them bad or whatever.
Right.
They're meant to look distorted
weird
and
ratty
long. And
yeah.
So I really did enjoy
Okay.
it. So the art, though, it took me, there's a few panels where I'm looking at it and I'm like, what am I looking at? Because the art is very, very dark, like you saw when you cheated and looked over.
Yeah.
It's like all the panels are like a few colors.
Yeah.
This one's yellow, blue, and black.
Yeah.
This next one's only yellow, black, and white. And this one's green and white.
Right.
And black. So they do that on each panel. It has nothing to do with the story. It's just the art direction.
Yeah.
It's really great, though. Like,
it looks good.
I like it when you can like have that style to where it's like, oh, it's ugly on purpose.
Oh,
Rotation,
yeah,
for lack of a better word.
Right.
But when you're really trying to do real faces and they look like shit,
They
that's
come
when
out
it's
bad. Yeah. It's pretty obvious the difference, too.
Oh, yeah, for sure. This dude's art style is very distinct.
Well, I knew exactly what who that character was supposed to be by looking at him.
Yeah, I was like, oh, look, here's the douchebag.
If you hadn't
chancellor.
said anything about him, I would have said he was like
yeah, if
CEO
I was like, oh, look
something.
at that guy. All right, then what do you think about that dude over there on the far side?
The far right?
Who does he look
like? He looks like
a
priest or a monk or something.
bad guy. Oh, that's what I was going.
Right.
He just looks like a bad guy.
Yeah, right.
Like, obviously. So the chancellor is basically like, see, you expect people to be reasonable, and they don't. They kill our men. These assholes. This Venus is open for trade, and we need to get in there.
Yeah.
And they goes, fine. Hey, you do your thing. Go do your thing. So it shows this character who's got I guess like a fancy mechanical like monocle, like
okay.
It's just something over his eye.
Yeah.
And he looks like a bad guy.
Yeah,
piece
that
of shit.
guy.
He looks evil.
He's wearing like weird goggles.
Yeah. Well, it's only one eye.
One eye? Oh,
yeah.
I could only see.
So Venus 3 months later, because it takes him a while to get there.
Yeah,
right?
they said that. Okay.
So it shows Braxton. He's looking at his son. His son's on walkers, and he's just he loves the kid, great kid. And then he starts talking about. He wakes him up for a specific reason and says, hey, starts narrating again and says, we don't have a deity on this planet. We don't worship that shit. We just go off strength. And there is a day, though, called the Day of Fives. It's the closest thing to like a holy day that we have. Basically, they get together, they shut down everything, the whole planet gets shut down, and they just remember. They sit there together and remember all their ancestors.
Yeah, it was a hard deal.
So there's a cool thing that they seem like they talk to him. So it shows them like, are you taking care of him? It's yellow word bubble with red writing. Okay. And it says, are you taking care of him? And then next to a character, it'll be red bubble with yellow writing that says, I'm doing what I can or whatever.
Right.
I am. Of course I am.
Okay.
I miss you. So call and answer, it looks like.
Yeah.
So it's like almost inferring like they can speak to their dead relatives.
Okay, that's who was.
It could just be in their head.
Right.
But
well, the different color speech bubbles and stuff indicate a different form of communication.
They bothered to put it on the page, so I'm like, okay, this is interesting. It may be all in their head, but I'm seeing it and hearing it, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, no gods, just strength and remembering the people that came before you, basically. Very hard-nosed, no-nonsense people. They do kill each other quite a bit, but it's normally for good reasons. They're just a little more brutal than we would be.
Right.
But yeah, you do something, you hurt a child, you're going to die.
It happens instead of like it being like I know.
Yeah, the justice system to screw up with an agenda or your own plans or to manipulate. It's straight up like, you did this? Like,
brought it on.
And the people are in a way very honorable. So if someone's like, I killed that man because he stole from me, he's not going to lie about it.
Right.
These are not the people that would lie.
Yeah.
The officers, the military, the law would come to the house and go, hey, did you kill Brian? He'd be like, yeah, he stole this or he hurt my wife or something.
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh, shit, okay.
Really?
Can other people say that? And the wife's like, yeah, dude did this. And they're like, yep, okay, you're good.
Okay.
Have a good day. Because they're no nonsense. Like, yeah, that's a good reason.
Yeah.
So as they're remembering, he starts remembering 35 years ago when, like, after a generation or so, when his grandfather was running shit, it got really bad, like super bad. People were starving. People were starting to turn on each other, kill and hurt each other. So Grandpa got them all together and was like, count off. When I point to you, you're the next number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he did it for everyone. Everyone that was left. And he said, the 1s were assigned agriculture. The 2s were assigned infrastructure. The 3s were going to expand the water and air capabilities. The 4s were tasked with increasing solar power. It's on Venus. There's a ton of sun.
Right.
So they needed hey, let's figure out how we can power everything. We're right next to the damn sun. Let's get it going.
Right.
So the 5s were supposed to take off on a ship and go establish an iron mining colony on the North Pole of Venus.
Okay.
They never made it. The ship explodes. Kaboom.
Oh, wow.
Like brutal, like nothing left explodes. Not like there's a malfunction. That shit's gone.
It's like a nuclear explosion in space.
So since that was like people lost everyone. And he lost his father. His father was on that ship. He stepped up as a 5. So they were like, the future's impossible. We're all dead. And then they found that Grandpa steps up and is like, we got this. He rallies them all. And he figures it all out, basically. It ends up prospering because, I mean, let's face it, 4 people are easier to take care of than 5 people. So everyone's like, it was a sad moment, but it also helped us. It gave us the strength to go forward, but also just simple mathematics. Right. Less people, more resources.
Yeah.
So they survived and have ran all the way up to where we are now. Just killing it, bro, on Venus.
Okay.
I really like this story, if you can't tell.
Yeah.
I loved these characters.
They're just prospering in this
I'm
period. I'm
super rooting for Venus in this story, bro. Like, they're awesome. But, oh, yeah, look. My son, I'm so proud.
Oh, yeah, that is cool. I like
he says, Father, we remember your... So, that, like I said, they're, like, talking to each other.
Yeah, that's cool.
Very interesting.
I like the way it looks, too.
So, it shows the douchebag with the one eye, the bad guy, and they're like, hey, they're here. They're on Venus. And they're like, hey, there's no one there. Where is everybody? And he goes, they're remembering right now. So, initiate attack. So, 7 explosions all go off in this one area. Alarms going off. They can feel the rumble. Braxton is yelling at his son, Lucas. That's his son's name. Lucas, to go home. He's like, I don't want to take care of you and deal with this shit. So go home. So he gets together with like his little group, his like guards or gang or something.
Yeah.
Like, just his closest crew. Yeah, exactly. And they're like, who would attack on the day of 5s? And they're like, yeah, a piece of shit would.
Yeah.
They're like, shouldn't we like go do something,
We
defend?
need to do something.
And Braxton's just chilling in a chair, and he's like, maybe we make too much of this day of 5s thing. And they all look at him crazy, and he's like, I'm just saying. But anyway, we're not going to defend it. There's no one there. They're already inside. They're going to come here. They're like, how do you know? And then it's like, big explosion. Dude walks through the door, and he's like, knock, knock. He walks in, and everyone, Braxton goes, oh, Greer. Oh, my God. So we find out that Greer is Braxton's brother. Okay. He left Venus and went to Mars and climbed up the ranks to become this like military expedition guy, this brutal attack squad that he's in. And he's like, they start pointing guns at each other, obviously. They're like, how do you know him? And Braxton's like, oh, shit, I made him what he is now, bro. And it shows a flashback of him stabbing him in the eye with a knife. So he's like, everyone's pointing guns at each other. Greer, the bad guy, he points a gun at the giant window. And he's like, well, how about I just shoot this and kill us all and nothing gets done? Yeah. And he's like, trust me, I'm not going to hurt him. Just everyone fuck off for a second. So they do. They all leave. They start talking about he wants to come over and the same shit the last messenger was saying. And he's also like, I don't know why they kept sending messengers. I told them you were going to kill them. Yeah. He's like, yeah, I'm going to do the same to you. And he's like, no, like, don't do that, man. He's like, I'll tell you the truth. And he's like, what do you really want? Tell me why you're here. You don't want to integrate with us. They're like, no, we want your iron. We want your floating city technology. And we want a seat at the table for political reasons, right? Okay. So that's what they want. Yeah. And so he was like, okay, we can figure that out. So
maybe we can do this.
Yeah. So it cuts to Lucas, the son. He's like barely in it, so sorry if I didn't recall him. But Lucas, he's by himself, and then this woman walks in, and she's like, the tunnels are closed. What's going on up there? I saw 7 Mars ships. And he was like, oh, 7? That's way more than I saw. That's crazy. How many men are here? And the mom's like, what's going on? Where's Braxton? He goes, oh, he's with his brother. And she was like, brother? And he's like, yeah, he wanted me to tell you hi, Mom. So they're in the room. They're talking about it. This is when he kind of lets them know what he really wants, basically. He's like, you want to mix these 2 worlds? He's like, we'd have to double our output of everything. And Greer's like, well, you'd have to triple it. And then he starts talking about how would you want to do it? All these empires are built on the backs of labor. Do you want to do it where your people get paid, or do you want to do it slave labor? And he goes, Greer's like, we're the ones who are supposed to be in charge. And Braxton basically calls them pussies because he's like, all y'all with your little frail skeletons and frail bones. He's like, y'all can't lift. Y'all can't do shit.
Yeah.
So if we work, it's going to be all my
us,
people.
Yeah.
And he's like, we're the ones supposed to be in charge. And so he doesn't actually have an exoskeleton. I guess he didn't grow up there, so he doesn't need one. But the other guys are wearing big old exosuits just to be able to walk.
Their skeleton.
Little brittle boys.
That is like a real thing they're super worried about, or that would be a real problem moving there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. Like they talked about that in The Expanse, right?
Yeah. All the outers.
The dudes were super tall because of the gravity. They were
torturing him by just making him be on Earth's gravity.
Oh,
like the first
pushing
episode
down on him. I do remember that.
They had the 2 pegs sticking out of the walls, so they put them like out and hung his arms over it, and that was like stretching him.
So they go. One of the guards pipes up. It's not important. I just thought it was cool. He's like, let's just kill these guys. And then Braxton, he says, all right, yeah, let's go hand to hand. And Greer's like, stop it, dude. They would destroy us. Yeah. Hand to hand, they would kill us in seconds. Like, we have no choice here. He goes, Braxton, I'm not going to kill you. I'm not going to make you a martyr. Your people would go crazy. So no thank you. So what they figure out after, like, torturing him and, shit talking, pointing guns at each other, what they basically come to is he goes, Braxton says, I couldn't give you this city and all that even if I wanted. Well, let's let the people decide. So basically they're going to run a fucking election.
Oh, shit.
Straight up, Braxton's not in the race yet. They don't know who they're going to put forward. It's Braxton. He's a badass and a great dad. But they send this dude named Will, sends this guy named Will, and he's just like a pretty face. And he's out there talking it up like, we're going to mix societies. Everything's going to be great. The history of Earth will finally be together again. So it cuts to Lucas and the mom. And mom's like, see that? That's real power. And he's like, what, are you going to try and kill dad again? He's like, no, that was a mistake. I shouldn't have done it. But I can get you that power. Just listen to me. Cuts to them, Braxton and his crew, and they're talking about, like, what are we going to do? We should just kill them all. And they're like, no, because then they're going to send an army next, and we won't be able to stand against that.
Yeah.
Which I think they could. So anyway, he's like, let's show them what life on Mars is really like. So they're at a rally, basically, in deep space, in Venus, a Venus rally for a Mars candidate. And I just think it's so funny. But it's these 3 women talking about how horrible life on Mars is. And they're like, they're treated, they're less than concubines. They're given nice houses, but it's a communal house where we all live together. And they all treat us like shit. We're less than people. Basically what you would think about a planet run by, like, corporate rich douchebags.
Yeah, right.
So it shows Will, the spokesman for Mars, and he's just like, ooh, I didn't know y'all would be here. And he totally flubs it up. He's like, oh, different cultures.
Yeah.
He doesn't come out and say that's not true.
Right.
He was just like, yeah, it's different. But that's what we can learn by getting together. He tries to spit it, and they just start booing him. So it cuts to like a little month earlier. All it is just lining up this moment that happens later.
Okay.
But it's the Chancellor and all his little goons, his little butt boys. And they're talking about, oh, yeah, Greer's doing well. He's got this down. He's completely in charge. And then the Chancellor's like, oh, yeah? He's in charge? Oh, hell no. He's like, let's go figure this out. So he's like, also keep the body count down. I got an idea. So it just cuts away. There is this little interesting shot. They're in like a restaurant, right? You see that? It's out in the middle of the Venus or Mars desert.
Yeah.
So they're at a restaurant, and as they're eating, they're chatting. And then when they get up and leave, right, the henchmen are like, we'll get you a shuttle. We'll get you to Venus immediately, sir.
Right.
So that's why they said 1 month ago, because he's going to Venus.
Okay.
And that's the time up issue. He's going to show up. Yeah,
gotcha.
Not a big secret. So when they leave, they get up to go. There's the guy who owns the restaurant and his wife, and she goes, they're assholes. And he's like, yeah, I hate those guys. Turn off the hologram. And it turns off, and it's just a dingy, fucked up, nasty room with just 2 tables on it.
Nice.
So I don't know if the Chancellor and all his dudes knew that or what, but I thought that was very interesting.
That is weird.
Honestly, if the writer ever hears this, I want a story about them. I want a story about the bartender and his
Nice.
wife, the restaurant
yeah.
owner and his wife. What are they up to?
Yeah.
How do they have that hologram? That's cool. I want to know more about that. It's just one shot. I hate those assholes. All right, turn the
Turn it
hologram off.
off.
Very cool. I'll
That
show
is-
you. 'Cause I didn't take a picture of it. I didn't think I was going to talk about
Right.
it, but it's dope as hell.
Huh.
So I'll show you later.
Yeah, show me.
So yeah, write that story.
That would be cool.
So this is Venus after the rally where the women talk about how horrible Mars is.
Yeah.
It's basically Greer yelling at Will, telling him, you didn't even try to defend us. Also, do you think they got here from Mars already? And he was like, oh. He's like, you idiot, bro. Like that they just made it up. That's just 3 people they picked to go talk shit about Mars.
Right.
And since you didn't try to deny anything, it's like we have to figure this out. It's not crazy. We can take care of it. So don't worry. So Greer's like headstrong. He's like, I want you to meet someone. And then Alameda walks in. His mom,
Right.
Braxton's mom.
Yeah, yeah.
And she introduces herself. So now they're scheming and planning, right? Oh, this is when he's talking about the vie for control. Grandpa died, and then mom went through this whole process of like, oh, I don't want to rule, and then put forth a candidate, and then manipulated him to the point where she made him drop out of the race after deaths and suicides and murders and stuff of other candidates.
Okay.
Basically, no one was left, and she was like, I'll do it.
Uh-huh.
So they gave it to her, and the dad's like, and you fucking believed her, like
Yeah.
talking to his son Lucas, like, you're believing her lies. He slipped up and let Braxton know that he's been meeting with his mom, which he's not supposed to do,
Right.
or his grandma, Braxton's mom. So he's like, you believe her lies, you're weaker than I thought, kind of talking shit to his son. And he's like, just don't listen to her. Stay away from her, man. When she was in control, she did not care for this world at all. It was all personal gain. And then when she tried to relinquish power, she tried to kill me. So she tried to kill her own son to
Yeah.
keep power. So she's a real piece of work, like the dude said, basically. So now it cuts to the vote counter. The guy who counts the votes. Greer is in there, and he's like basically telling him, hey, count it our way.
Oh, of course.
In not so many words. And the guy's like, listen, man, I don't give a fuck who wins, Mars or Venus. I'm going to just do the right thing so I can sleep at night. I don't care who wins.
Yeah.
So they walk out, and he's like, oh, so much for rigging the votes. And he's like, no, he'll do it because he knows he'll live if Mars wins, and no one will know. So he'll do it. Trust me. Oh, and as he was talking to Will earlier, he had a dead body on him, and that one of the dead bodies was the guy who worked for the vote counter.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so he's on a warpath. He's killing the right people, making sure, hey, your boy ain't showing up for work tomorrow.
Right, holy
Here's his
crap.
hand. Sorry to leave you short-handed, and then left
Oh my
on
gosh.
some bad guy shit.
That's crazy. What the fuck?
Yeah, man. So they have another rally for Mars, a pro-Mars rally. And Will, the spokesperson for Mars, he brings out Lucas, and he's like, he's a great leader, but he's not a great father. Why would his boy be on our side? Here's Lucas, Braxton's son, and then he's like, he's a great father, but he's not the one to lead us. And if he will lead us, that's fine. We want him to lead till he can't anymore, if that's the case. But you need to listen to Mars. You need to listen to these guys. We need to integrate. So basically, pro-Mars.
Yeah.
So they go into the room, and Greer's like, man, I think your dad would be proud. And they're like, no, he wouldn't.
Yeah.
And he's like, what dad wouldn't be proud of a son making his own way? And the grandma goes, mine,
Yeah.
his. So
Jesus
none of
Christ.
us here on Venus.
Yeah.
So while they're sitting there talking, patting themselves on the back, this guy pops up, and he goes, hey, Will, I have a message from Braxton, and he shoots him. But he misses Will. So Lucas is shot, getting rushed to the hospital. Now, Mom is pissed. She's like super down about this. She actually goes to see Braxton. She goes to talk to him, and she's like, Braxton says, do you think I did this? And she was like, no, I know you didn't do it. You would kill him with your own hands if you wanted him to die. So I don't know what happened. Basically, he's pissed. He's like, I'm done with this. We'll let them vote. They want the new way, they can have it. And then they start talking about her grandpa, and you find out Grandpa sent the ship up to blow up on purpose.
Yeah.
So it's pretty obvious.
Yeah,
I
was gonna
assume
say,
so.
Yeah, that one.
I totally assume so. Not a
Yeah.
big secret. But he says, how do you know this? And she said, it's too much years to live with that guilt. He told me. And that's why I poisoned him. So she killed Grandpa, her dad, took over, then tried to kill her son
Yeah.
when she took over.
Right.
So, yeah, he's like mad at her for Lucas. She's like, he didn't have anyone. And then when the one person he had was you, and you were treating him like shit. So he does know they were talking at this point.
Okay.
So that's poison. So now we got Will. He's at a rally. He's talking it up. Sounds good. He's like, I may be next one to get killed, but that won't stop me from coming out here and fighting for what's right. Just totally eating it up, dude. The people are loving it. So they start talking to Greer, and they're like, why? I can't believe Braxton would send someone to kill. And he's like, Braxton didn't do that, and I didn't order the shooter. And I don't believe this lone gunman shit, so I don't know what happened. And then the Chancellor pops in. He's like, I did it. He's like, Greer's pissed. He's like, that was really stupid, bro. And he's
Yeah.
like, I'm in charge. Fuck you. I'm make the rules. You're thinking you're running shit out here. No, I am. He's like, okay, first off, you pissed Braxton off.
Idiot.
He doesn't want exoneration. He wants revenge.
Yeah.
He's going to fucking kill you. And he's like, no. The killer died. There's no one to say anything
Connect
about
or
it. And he's like,
whatever. Gotcha.
you're wrong again. The killer is still alive. He's at the same hospital as Lucas, Braxton's son. So, yeah, you fucked up, you idiot. So now it cuts to Braxton walking up to the door of the killer. And there's a guard there. And he's like, Braxton says, you think I did this? He's like, no, sir. He's like, I need to get in there. He's like, I'm not allowed to let you in. And then he just stares at him. He goes, I'm going to go to lunch. Walks off because Braxton's a beast. So he goes in there, threatens this dude. Listen, you are going to die before I leave this room. How much you tell me, it depends on how long I'm going to torture you.
Yeah.
So we can go nice and quick or we can go slow. You see him pull out a tool and just lunge at him. And it's over. So in between these panels, it's showing the EK. Is it EKG? The beeps?
Yeah.
So it flatlines. Greer is still with the Chancellor. And he goes, you need to be on guard. And he goes, how many guards do you have left? Greer goes, 50. And then a guy walks in. He goes, the kid's dead. And he's like, take all 50 of those guards. So he sends them out. Greer is pissed. He's looking at his boy, talking to the mom. And this is where you find out he's like, I'm done. I don't want to care. I don't care about the vote. If they want this new bullshit, let them have it. If they want the old way, then we'll go that direction, but I don't care anymore. And she's like, I don't care if you want to die or not, but let's make these bastards pay first. So mom is pissed. Braxton's pissed. They're over it. So there's like 50 guards standing in this room like, they really need 50 of us to guard the Chancellor? And like, what's going on? And then one guy goes, it's getting hot in here. And then they all just thump, fall on the ground. So the Chancellor wakes up and he's like, what's going on? And Braxton's standing there, and he's like, it's pretty dumb for y'all to hide out in a room that needs oxygen pumped in to breathe.
Yeah.
It's like, the panel's normally on the outside because, we built it. Yeah. So we just had to go turn it off, basically. Switch it to something not as pleasing as oxygen.
Yeah.
So they all passed out. Now, the Chancellor's tied to a chair, and he goes, listen, I cave. You can have what you want. He goes, I'll relinquish my power. Here's all the plans for our floating cities. And he's like, and what else did you want? A seat at the table? He goes, there's your seat. And then you wanted, oh, yeah, that's right, my iron. And he goes, well, here, you can have it. And it's just a big fucking thing of iron that just dumps on him.
Nice.
So you can't see it because the art, like I said, it's difficult to see.
Yeah.
But you can see the liquid pouring out there. So
Nice.
he just covers this full in iron, bro.
Him.
So Will is like, if we lose, how fast can we get out of here? And the mom's like, we're not going to lose. All we have to do is kill Braxton. If we kill Braxton, we'll be fine. And Greer's like, you want to try that again? For sure?
That didn't work.
Yeah, did not work. And she's like, listen, I want to rule. And even if I have to do it through this idiot, and she points to Will, he goes, listen, he's going to come in. When he comes in, we shoot him. No hesitation. The second you see him, you shoot.
That's your only chance.
Don't let him talk. And they're like, well, how do we know we'll be in the same place at the same time? And they go, we know where he is now. He's at Lucas's funeral. So you could see it, and you could see some ancestors talking. They're pretty upset as well.
Yeah.
So they're in a room. she goes, okay, now we're gonna shoot him, right? And he goes, yeah, that was the plan, but we have this bomb. As soon as it catches his heat signature, he'll blow up. And Will's excited because he's like, we don't have to be in the same room as him. And then the mom drops this thing. She says, oh, Greer, always smarter than Braxton, but not this time. He said to remind you of your threat when you first showed up here about shooting the window and killing everyone inside. And Greer's like you're going to sacrifice yourself. Like, that's a crazy course correction, Mom. Like, and also, you don't have a gun. She's like, don't need it. Braxton's in a spacesuit outside the window and shoots his brother through his bad eye, hits him in the same spot, which is I love. I love that. Window fucking opens and explodes. Everyone's dead. Mom's dead. Greer's dead. All his little brittle bone guards are dead. Everyone's dead. You see Braxton walk up, and he gets like a little announce. What would you call it?
PA or a megaphone or something.
Yes, he gets on the PA and he goes, a tragic accident for the people of Mars, to whom I extend my condolences, and a great loss to Venus of she who was once matriarch to us all, my beloved mother. It's no longer necessary for votes cast today to be counted. I urge us instead to embrace our own ways to make our own future, and not lament what might have been. And that's the end.
That's the end. I figured.
So sick.
I was like,
so
that's
sick.
going to be the wrap up.
That's so sick, dude.
If they didn't wrap it up, then I would have said that was a mistake.
Yes, right? It was perfect. You don't need to know what happens after.
Yeah.
There is a cool secondary story, little spin-off. It's The Last Dog on Mars. She's
epilogue or like
no, just another short story they made in the universe of Colonus.
Okay, that's cool.
Which I thought was cool. It's just a woman and her dog. All the rich people want dogs now because they're all dead and there's only a few left. So the rich people are like, we want dogs.
Sense,
She bounces and goes to Venus, and when she walks in, Braxton comes up and he's like, oh, you got a dog. Nice. And then Braxton's dog runs up and he's like, we can make some puppies. That's the whole story. It was 5 pages.
Yeah.
Dude, I really enjoyed this comic.
Yeah.
The art was awesome, looked great. I thought it was going to be legit a hardcore action, bloody go hard sci-fi, and it wasn't at all, dude.
It was like a, what would they call it, like a thriller type
political thriller with a little bit of action, like Harrison Ford style. Right. But you know what's cool is if any of this shit was capable, this is exactly what would happen. We would fuck this planet up. We would leave, go mess up another one, and then mess up another one, and throwing all the crazy poor people on another planet is totally plausible.
Where we don't want it. Then,
I love that. I'm like, okay, this is a sci-fi world. It's made up. It's fantasy. But it felt so real. Like, this is exact. You know, despite the art being all crazy, this was like, man, this was right on.
Yeah.
No superhero shit. No, like, dude doing incredible things. It was all plausible.
Yeah, they didn't even go that fast in their ships and stuff.
No.
It took them a while to get
places. It took them a month or 3 months to get somewhere. Great comic, man.
That's cool.
I loved it.
Yeah, so we got B and C this time. I got B. Found this one in like 5 seconds after looking. So when I started looking, because I saw one name on it that always catches my eye, Steve Niles.
Nice.
30 Days a Night, countless short stories and horror. Just like one of my favorite horror writers for sure. Because like we say a bunch of times, we love comics, but we are far from some sort of expert in any way, shape, or form. I don't even remember writers all the time that I've read a million stories from.
Yeah.
Artists, I'm like, hey, that kind of looks the same. And like, don't even realize it's the same artist across all these like different comics because, you know, they don't draw for one comic only.
Yeah.
And so like, you'll see like stuff like, it reminds me of this or reminds me, it's because it's the same goddamn
I've been
artist.
doing it more and more lately where I'll find a comic and I'll be like, yeah, that looks familiar. And then I'll try to remember if I've seen anything like that before.
Yeah. So I saw Steve Niles and I go, horror miniseries, Steve Niles, bing, bang, boom. Took me 2 seconds to decide.
All right.
Like I said, I am pretty good about not super cherry picking. So like, as long as the art doesn't absolutely disgust me and I have some idea of what's going on in the comic, like just the most basic idea in it, if it seems interesting at all, I do it.
Right.
But so I was like, Steve Niles, boom, bing, bing, bang, boom. Like it's a guaranteed. And also the artist for this comic, goes by the name Damien Worm. So, like, that's obviously, like, a pen name. I would imagine it's... Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I would imagine it's a pen name, but could not. It's possible it's not. That's his good Christian name.
Full of tradition and pride is the old worm name.
The worm name, yeah.
We come from a long line of...
What about the Hogs?
The Hogs?
You know about the Hogs. Ima and Ura.
Ima and Ura. Yeah, if you don't know, Houston had a mayor?
No, he was a very rich guy who donated to a lot of stuff.
Was one of the daughters mayor?
No.
That was Mayor Hogg.
No,
I don't know.
think so.
Anyway, there's some famous dude around here. His last name was Hogg, and his daughters actually became well known.
Yeah.
And his daughters' names were Ima and Ura.
Yeah.
So Ura Hogg.
Yeah, and Ima Hogg.
And Ima Hogg.
Yeah, they're like philanthropists.
Because at the museum,
their names are on everything.
At the museum, there's a plaque that says Ima Hogg.
Hogg and Ura Hogg.
And Ura Hogg.
Yeah, they're the whole family was philanthropists, and like
So
I don't know what they
messed
did
up.
besides that, but I know they had tons of money. Well, so you know the story. He knew his daughters were going to be rich. He knew they were going to be upper class. He didn't, but he made his money. He wasn't. He didn't get given his money, so he wanted them to have some sort of issue in their life. He wanted them to have some. Yes, that's really why he wanted them to not be
respect.
wusses. He didn't want them to be.
I changed
wusses.
my stance on this.
It's gnarly.
Good.
It's a gnarly thing to do.
Yeah.
And it's daughters.
Yeah.
Sons, you can, like, mud or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's bad. Or naming a boy a girl name or something. That's kind of bad.
That's messed up.
But daughters, that's pretty rough.
Yeah. You're a hog.
Yeah.
I'm a hog.
Yeah.
I'm a hog.
Yeah. One of them got you're a hog. Was the lucky
Which
one.
is just always just I'm making fun of you.
Yeah.
Now this one's I'm
Jesus.
making fun of myself.
Except
when they call her out her name. Like in class, they're like, I'm a hog.
Yeah, true.
Here.
I got you. The one time in my life where I like having that name.
Right. Roll call.
All right, so I saw that this comic was a Steve Niles comic from IDW. The name of the comic is Brynmore.
Yes. Keeping me in suspense.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Yeah, Brynmore. Brynmore.
That's Brynmore.
Sure.
No, Bryn sounds cool.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, that's gonna be the name of the town or something like that in this. But no, it's the name of one of the major characters, which is I love that as a name.
They're close friends with the worms.
Probably.
Yeah, the Brynmore and the worms.
So this is written by Steve Niles and artist Damien Worm. Like I said, it came out in 2023 from IDW. We start out with our main character's name is Mark Turner. Mark Turner is returning to the island where he grew up, off of South Carolina, I'm pretty sure.
An island off of South Carolina?
Yeah.
They have islands out there?
But the island, they have islands out there?
Do they really?
Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
And that's the family, or the island is named after his family, so it's Turner Island.
Oh.
So he's going back to an island that his family owned back in the day.
Cool.
So it's called Turner Island. So he's just divorced.
Probably haunted.
He just recently got divorced.
Sweet.
And he has a daughter, and his wife has full custody of his daughter.
Not sweet.
He's coming back here to family land. They owned a church, and he's renovating the church into his house.
Nice.
And as he's coming, he's like, nobody likes me here. Like, the whole island hates my
Got
family.
A bad reputation.
Yeah, there's like a curse. They call it like
they
the
own
Turner
family
Island curse.
land, though.
What?
They own family land, though.
Family land, though. But, so he's like, as soon as he gets there, he's in a truck in a little trailer. He pulls up to the church. He's like, I'm going to restore this whole church and make it into my house. It's going to take me a long time, but I'll do it by myself, whatever. So it's the first night that he's there. He's out sitting on his trailer eating, and a dog runs up, feeds the dog, and from then on, that's his dog. He just gains a dog. The
Law of the land.
Yeah. The dog distribution system got him.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's got a dog. He goes into town the next morning to get supplies to start the renovations. So he's at the hardware store, and he sees a dude that he knew when they were kids, and the guy's like talking shit to him. His name's Lester. Mm-hmm. He sees Lester outside of like the mini Home Depot, their mom and pop shop.
Yeah.
And Lester's like, you can get out of our island. We don't want you here, whatever. And then Mark Turner just beats him up like instantly, like he's
Well, that's not gonna help.
John Wick or something.
Nice.
And like it's kind of silly. Like
Well, it's not gonna help your reputation either.
This is the first part of the comic that I thought was silly. Was he just is supposed to be a recovering alcoholic and drug addict who was like a computer guy before this,
but knows how to
and
kung
he just
fu it up.
destroys this guy like
I've gotten a lot of bar fights.
something, dude. It's crazy. He just instantly like whoops him and like instantly walks into the lumber store, orders lumber, goes home.
Oh, comes out and steps over.
He would have had to.
Yeah,
they don't show
right.
that part.
That's
but
pretty gangster.
He must have.
I beat up a kid in his own house and left him laying on the. And I was like,
dude. That's
that was pretty
good.
baller. I did that.
I like that.
Right.
So he's back at his church, just hanging out, starting the renovations, and a lady pulls up. And he's like, "Oh crap!" Like he's like, somebody else to come fuck with me.
Right.
And she starts out being very nice. She's like recognizes the dog. The dog's name is Buddy, and her other neighbor used to take care of Buddy, and they moved, and she was taking care of Buddy for a while, but now he found this guy, so now Buddy's Mark's dog or whatever.
Dude,
and
dude.
What?
Does the dog die?
No.
You lied last
No,
time.
I have.
Last time you were
I
straight
have.
up like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
he doesn't die. And then you're like, so he killed the dog. The
yeah.
dog's dead. He
You were
got
like,
ripped
wait,
apart.
what?
I'm like, motherfucker.
You
dude,
lied.
You said no.
Yeah, no, I don't. He doesn't. He doesn't even get hurt in this.
Nice. Okay, good. Sorry.
And so we learned the lady's name is Becca Lynch. She lives on the next property over, so only like an acre or two away.
Okay.
So pretty close.
Yeah, yeah.
She's very nice. She's talking to Mark kindly and not hating on him and like
Yeah.
asking him what he's doing there.
Dirty
Ask a
Turner.
bunch of personal questions. You married, whatever, kids and whatnot. So he kind of shows her the church. She's very nice. She actually gives him a little bit of like nails and supplies and stuff. So like very good first interaction. This is his only good interaction
Right,
so
since he's
far,
been there,
basically.
yeah.
So now we get a call, or he calls his ex-wife because he wants to talk to his daughter. So he calls his ex-wife. They argue for a little bit, and then his daughter won't talk to him. So he's like, "Oh, this sucks. I hate this. I wish I could see my daughter, or whatever." So he gets really depressed, and he goes to the liquor store. And he sits there for a while, but he's good, and he leaves. He doesn't even go in and get it.
Nice.
So he goes back to the
Good for
church,
you.
and yes,
That's tough.
that's what I was gonna. Yes,
That's tough.
So he's back in the church. He uses this time to get a bunch of work done.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You got all that extra energy. You're not
Right.
feeling good. You focus it on something good. So he's in the church just remodeling like crazy, getting
Nice.
his energy
Yeah,
out
yeah.
like he should. The correct
Right.
thing to do.
Yeah.
And so there's all these scratch marks under the podium. So like
Ooh,
the
hell
podium
no.
looks like it's been moved. So this is where so the first
Jesus.
part where he beats up the guy out of nowhere I thought was kind of silly. And then this part, I was like, that's kind of silly too.
No, that's
so
cool.
like I know if you haven't heard all my stuff, you don't know, but I love Steve Niles. I've said it on the show quite a few times, but he's genuinely one of my favorite horror writers, at least that's
Right.
for sure. And this whole comic felt like he phoned it in.
Oh, what? Really?
Yep. I'm gonna say it now.
I like the podium with the scratches thing. What were you gonna say
Okay,
now? Sorry.
okay, that was it.
That was it?
Yeah, that he phoned it in.
Okay.
And so, the finish the podium with the scratches. He moves it. He goes, "It looks like it's been moved." So he pushes it out of the way, and there's a staircase down into the basement. Of
Nice.
course,
Let's
you
get
knew.
to it, yeah.
You knew. So he goes down to the bottom, and it's pretty creepy. It's not like Cthulhu death site creepy. It's really more just like a basement. It just looks like a basement. So it's
Okay.
not too bad. He's kind of just looking around. He's like, oh, okay. Big ass basement. That's weird. And then in the corner, there's like a giant stone sarcophagus, like sticking out of the ground, like as like it's bigger than what you see.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's like kind of poking out of the ground. He's like, oh, that's cool. What the hell is this?
Let me go open it.
Yeah. So he's like, this is a weird thing. And I'll say it now. This comic, it goes by so fast. Like I know I said that to you earlier, but I didn't mention it on show yet. I don't know if it's because there's less literal pages or there's just not a lot of text throughout it. I don't know. It just feels really fast.
Maybe.
I think it's four issues.
That's pretty short.
And but I swear each one of them feels short
the
individually.
actual issue feels shorter.
So he finds this big stone sarcophagus thing, and he's like, "Oh, this is really weird. It's not." Steve Niles tries to write realistic people. You know what I mean? He kind of fails in this one, but he usually tries.
Yeah.
So he's like, this is really weird. I'm going to take some etchings of the symbols on it, which kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
And I thought it was going to instantly
Pull out
spring to life because he's like rubbing it or something.
Pull out your camera phone.
Something, right. So he makes etchings of it. Nothing really happens. He goes to the library. Becca's at the library, the nice lady from next door. And at least he tells her, he goes, I found this in the church. He didn't say exactly what that was on, but he goes, yeah, I found these scratchings in the church. There's some sort of code. And she goes, I used to do code stuff when I was a kid. Let me take a look at it. So he gives her the code, the scratchings and stuff. She goes home and she starts decoding it. And while she's doing that, Mark is doing renovation stuff, and his daughter hits him up or texts him. And she's like, hey, Mom's...
So they do have smartphones.
Yeah, this is
what
now.
What the hell?
It's
Take
now.
a picture of the damn etchings.
It's now.
Okay.
It's based now. Yeah, like currently now, too. So the daughter's like, Mom's really drunk all the time, and like she doesn't buy me enough food. And he's like, you're always welcome to come stay with me, whatever. So as he's doing that, basically like texting his daughter, Lester shows up with a bunch of dudes, the guy he beat up earlier.
Yeah, no one can take a damn ass whooping, man.
No.
Can't take an ass kicking.
So Lester shows up with a bat and all his homies, and he starts whooping Mark because he's a little bitch.
Pussy shit.
Yeah, and so they like
feel
jump
strongly
him.
about this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
We don't like that.
No, that's...
If I get my ass kicked, that's it. I'm like, you know what?
You lost.
I lost, he won.
It's not a big deal,
It's
honestly.
over. I'm not coming back with my boys.
Even if I'm right and I fight somebody and I lose,
You're
know what
wrong.
I'm not going to do about it? Bitch. I'm not going to fucking bitch
You'd
about it.
be like, damn, he fucked me up.
Yeah,
man.
you can always be like, they were quick. Damn, that guy was a good fighter.
He hit hard as shit.
Yeah, man.
I've said that. I got my ass kicked.
My
and was
God.
like, damn, he hit hard, y'all. That shit hurts.
When I was growing up and I would like have new friends and like shit was about to pop off and they'd be like, I don't know, fellas, maybe we should get out of here. I'd be like, I don't like you. Like,
I don't like you.
I don't
You're
like
the
you.
kind to get your ass kicked and show up with a bunch of your boys.
gun and shit, or try to burn a house down.
That's scarier, man. Because with 6 dudes kicking your ass aren't gonna know when to stop. They could kill you.
Little bitch shit.
Bitch shit.
Yeah.
Bitch shit.
All right, so they beat him up, and he handles it like a man. He doesn't call the cops or nothing. He goes to the pharmacy and gets some whatever, Bactine or some shit, and just puts it on the wounds.
Rubs dirt on it.
And then he goes to the liquor store right after.
Aw.
Yeah. And he gets a bottle of liquor, and he goes back to the church, and he starts drinking, and he's getting really drunk because obviously he hadn't drank for quite a while.
Yeah.
He was completely sober.
Moderation, dog.
So he like chugging a bottle of whiskey, and he's like, woo, just like partying and shit. And he sees one of the sledgehammers. He goes, I know what I'm gonna do, and he takes the sledgehammer down into the basement. And like as he's doing this, Becca is doing the translations or whatever,
yeah.
and it just says beware, and the translation says beware.
He's like, woo.
Yeah, and he's literally going, woo, fuck this thing, and he starts hitting it with the
drunk shit
sledgehammer, and then he cracks it a little bit. He's like, there's like air coming out or something. That's cool. And then he puts like a wedge in it and then starts hitting the wedge with the sledgehammer.
Oh my God.
So he like busts down this like 8-foot tall stone sarcophagus. It crumbles, and standing there in the middle is like a 7.5-foot tall, dark, mysterious figure that's like a shadow. And like, to his credit, all Mark does is go, what the hell?
He's like, hey, you got a cigarette?
He's looking at this guy, and he can see, like, at first he just looks like a shadow, and then eventually he can see him, and he's like this scary looking like dude in a cloak who's like,
yeah, this is already creepy. He did literally everything
the worst
wrong.
thing wrong, yeah.
Like, he took every decision and did the absolute wrong
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
So bad.
So he's just kind of standing there looking at this guy, and he doesn't talk. Like, he goes, what the hell, or whatever, and then he kind of just stands there. And then the 7-foot tall guy talks. He goes, what have you done? And he's like, huh? And as that's happening, we kind of do a little jump to the lighthouse keeper, who's we haven't seen before. We have no idea. It gives us a micro introduction. This is the lighthouse keeper, whatever. He's out checking his lobster pots. He didn't find anything. And as he's outside, he looks, and there's these people walking in from the water. He's like, oh, no, somebody's, out there in the water. Are you okay? So hollers at him because he thinks somebody's shipwrecked or was drowning or something. Right. And there's two dark figures coming towards him. And this is the part where I started seeing like a drop in quality control, because the guy is standing there looking at the thing coming towards him. And he's saying, stop, let go of me, no. And the thing hasn't even got to him yet.
Really? Let me see this.
Yeah, come here, look. So he goes, who's out there? Are you okay? Here, I'll let you see the whole thing. So like he's checking his pots. He sees shapes. Who's out there? Are you okay? That's all perfect. Fine. And then look, they haven't even got to him yet. Stop, let go of me, no. And then the next panel goes, ah. And he's being dragged. He gets dragged into the water. So I was like, that's kind of weird.
You said like that's like a Karen freaking out when you like, she reaches for your phone, so you slap her hand.
Yeah.
Like,
get off of me. Yeah.
Stop
He
grabbing
was hitting me. Sexual assault. Ma'am, I was 20 feet away.
Yeah, exactly. He was like his hand was like a good 2 feet away from the dude's face, and he's screaming, "Don't let go of me."
Yeah. So
he just freaked out. Poor guy.
So Mark's down in the basement staring at this monster guy. They're just kind of chilling for a minute, and he hears Mark from upstairs. So he runs upstairs.
They hand him the liquor.
It's right. You would think.
You want to.
He's still holding it. He's still holding it. So he could have.
Yep.
So Becca comes in and like, hey, I looked at these, whatever, and she can tell he's drunk. And he's got his shirt off, and he's really freaked out because he saw this thing.
Yeah.
But she's like, can tell he's fucked up, and she's like, oh, I gotta go, or whatever. So she leaves him the paperwork so he can read it, so he can still be warned. But she's like, I'm getting out of here. So
warned? You fucked up.
Yeah,
like,
she doesn't know that he fucked up already.
Right.
So like, she's like, I gotta get out of here. So he gets really mad. He realized he fucked up because he was drunk. He's just standing in the church, and his name's Brynmore. We find out real soon. The monster's name is Brynmore.
I figured.
So Brynmore is up in the church, and he goes, what year is it? And so like he's very matter of fact, and I love it. And he doesn't act confused about anything.
Mm-hmm.
He just kind of like, oh, okay. So he goes, what year is it? And he goes, 2023. And he just kind of looks at him. He's like, oh, okay. And then he goes, this is what Mark says. He goes, you asked me what I had done. Maybe you should tell me. And he goes, you have unleashed death. And he asks, who are you? And he goes, you mean what am I? He goes, man, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. He goes, you have unleashed horror and death, and I do not know if I have the strength to deal with it. And he goes, I don't understand. He goes, they never do until it's too late. So our man Mark goes and passes out. He leaves a 7-foot monster in his basement or whatever.
I'm going to go to bed.
And he goes to bed, and yeah, he just leaves him there and goes and passes out.
There's milk and food in the fridge.
So this part's kind of cool. It's the next day. It's kind of early in the morning. Everything's like nice. The sun's up. It's really cool. And then all of a sudden it started getting really cloudy. It was like morning, and it got really cloudy. And I started going out of order. I'm gonna tell this part. So Mark is asking Brynmore what's going on. So Brynmore explains it. This island's been around since the 1700s. It had a huge mix of people. He called them pilgrims, meaning just like people from all over.
Right.
They brought their religions. They brought their curses. They brought everything bad with them. One night, I think in the 1850s maybe, something like that, one of your great ancestors got stabbed, and he spit out a curse before he died on the whole island. He cursed the whole island. And as soon as he died, half the people on the island went instantly insane and started killing the other half of the people on the island. So the people that hadn't been turned crazy and hadn't been killed right away went to another one of the Turners, a relative of the one that got stabbed, who was a warlock. And they go, hey, we know you're a warlock. Please help us. We're all getting murdered. And he asked for a bunch of things. He goes, I want the island. It's going to be my island if I save us. It's going to be called Turner Island. And then it made all these stipulations. And they're like, of course, anything.
We don't give a shit.
Yeah,
Just do it.
They're literally being murdered by their, like, children. Like,
yeah, that's fucked.
half the population is just murdering the other half. So he like sews together like a Frankenstein using like animal parts and mud and human bones and like leaves, a lot of leaves and a lot of vegetation and sticks and stuff. So a lot of pieces of the island. Basically, you know what I mean? Just all parts, different kinds of parts from the island. He brings it to life Pinocchio style or whatever, warlock style, and he blesses this new monster. He calls it Brynmore. Its name is Brynmore. And he sends it out, and Brynmore starts beating the shit out of all the humans that have gone crazy. He knocks them out. He puts them on his shoulders, and then he drags them to the deep water, and he ocean buries them, or you know what I mean. He just puts them out in the ocean. And he does that to all the people that were doing it. So he basically kills them, drags them out to be buried at sea, and it worked. He rid the island of all the evil ones. So the people lived. Like regular people that weren't insane, that didn't get killed as well. They lived. They went and thanked the warlock. They gave him all his requests.
Right.
But like they were like instantly like, we're not comfortable with Brynmore being around, because he wanted to just let him chill. Like the Turner.
Like, what the hell?
Turner was like, that's my homie Brynmore. He named him. He called him Brynmore. You know what I mean? That was his homie.
Literally saved us.
And Brynmore has human level intelligence. Don't get it confused. Like he's just a dumb monster.
Right.
He's endowed.
He asked what year it was.
Yeah, and was not like, what year mean? You know what I mean? Or like he sees a cell phone and he goes, ooh, magic box. Like no, he's obviously a smart ass monster or whatever you want to say. Like congregation of pieces. Like I don't know, but
amalgam.
They're yeah. Thank you.
Of the island.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. Thank you.
I got you, dog.
It's so funny because like whenever I'm like talking on here, like I have half my vocabulary that I normally would in everyday speech, just because like nervousness and just trying to get something across. Like so often whenever I listen back to it when I'm editing, I'm like, God damn it, Adam, how hard is it to think of this fucking word? It's not like some like silly sci-fi word I can't think of. Like program or you know what I mean? Like
we've both done it.
Bro,
I hear it too, and I'm like, you fucking idiots when I'm like listening to it.
And I'm proud of us for not editing that out.
We get it all.
Yeah. All right. So they're pissed about Brynmore being around. They're like, hey, man, we don't like this. So our homie didn't even want to kill Brynmore. He I don't know if he couldn't kill him but he didn't. So he put him in that giant stone sarcophagus. It was kind of like concrete. He put him in like mush, and then it was kind of like shaped around his body. That's why it seemed like it was coming like up out of the ground. So it's not like an actual two pieces of stone
you can open.
Yeah,
you have
he's
to break
mushed into it. Yeah, like it was concrete or something.
So he's just
and
chilling?
So he like puts him to sleep in there basically.
He's just awake.
And so the Turner guy's just kind of living it up. And it says quickly. They don't say how long. It says quickly. He was betrayed and murdered. So the warlock, Turner warlock, all the people on the island just were like, no, fuck this guy.
It makes sense.
And so like,
how did he do that?
Yeah, so I think that's they guess I don't know why they didn't change the name of the island, because the island's still named Turner Island. They respected his wishes there or whatever. So
this is what he would have wanted.
Yeah. Well, I know we hung him, but I mean.
Those were his last words.
Last wishes.
Keep the island name.
So
we don't give a fuck.
That's where the idea of everyone hating the Turners.
That's what I
from.
figured.
Yeah.
That's what it was from.
And
so
like,
it's just passed down hate.
Passed down hate. So like I started saying this earlier. This is the next morning after all the crazy shit that happened earlier. It's a bright morning. Everybody's at the beach, or it shows the beach, and all of a sudden like a bunch of clouds come out of nowhere and start covering up the sun.
Brynmore's cooking breakfast for Mark.
Just chilling. Yeah, you would think he was. Right. I think he literally, they show him, he's just standing around, just kind of like chilling.
That's cool.
So like a bunch of people are swimming at the beach. It gets dark out of nowhere, and they're like, what the hell is this? And then one guy gets pulled down in the water immediately, screaming really scary. Everybody goes, where's Mark? Or not Mark. What did they know? Where'd Roger go? And then they look around, and there's a bunch of like water zombies, basically.
I figured it was coming back
from the 1850s or whatever. Around the 1850s, popping up out of the water, and somebody goes, who are they? And so, like, this is another parts where I'm like, damn, these reactions of people are kind of muted.
Like,
and
that looks like my grandpa.
Yeah, and then one guy is getting pulled out, and he goes, "Let me go," and it says "go" is like big and like with a bunch of oaths, but all it says, "Let me go." That's all I can hear.
Is whining. Let me
Yeah,
go.
yeah, it seems like it too, because he's not even. He's just kind of like, "No, let me go."
Stop.
Yeah, that's what it seems like, and so they're dragging people into the water. So they're not like coming on land and like eating them or like stabbing them. They're grabbing them.
It's not the same mission as before. It seems like, right?
So these are the dead people from that first time,
yeah.
and they're coming back and they're dragging everyone to the watery grave because that's how they were taken out, was being drowned.
So
or
like,
whatever.
this is how we kill.
They're getting revenge, on all the people that they feel like wronged them.
Their ancestors.
Or, yeah, their ancestors. Yeah. So there's another guy on the beach they killed everybody, but they're just standing around. All these people are just standing around the beach.
Why are you not running?
Yeah, they saw it. They saw this whole thing, and they move like zombies. They're not sprinting anywhere.
Oh, they walk?
Yeah, they walk.
Oh, shit.
And then some lady that was far up the beach, the people are like at the edge of the water, and she's like 60 feet out the beach, and then the next panel she goes, "No, please, you're hurting me." And it's, I guess, you know what, since they're not biting anybody and they're not actually stabbing, they're actually just grabbing them and pulling them. Maybe you wouldn't freak out as bad as I was gonna say.
It's been generations.
Yeah,
and they
don't know what's happening.
They gotta be rotting and just gross.
Oh, they're
right?
nasty. They're zombies.
So very zombie like.
But they are not biting them, and they're not trying to actually kill them on the beach. So you know what? Okay, maybe you wouldn't instantly do blood-curdling screams if you were just being bear hugged and pulled.
Right.
I don't know, but I just realized that.
If I saw a nasty
rotting
water zombie,
I would piss my
I'd
pants.
be gone.
Yeah,
I'd have my guns or whatever.
I'd be sprinting,
gone,
but pissing while I was sprinting.
Yeah, that's scary.
So everyone on the beach gets snatched up.
I picture her being like, "No!" Remember, like in Austin
Powers?
Oh,
from like 20 miles away. Yeah,
exactly. It's what they're acting like.
Yeah, they
walk.
So the way people react in this, right? We're getting to another part where I'm like, what? This is not how. So remember when Sophie, Mark's daughter, called and was like, "I want to come stay with you" or whatever. They didn't even say that she was going to or anything. She just apparently was coming. So the thing with Brynmore happens, and she hasn't got there yet, and he lets her come.
What?
He lets her come to the island.
She just calls and he's
no,
like,
she's on her way or whatever.
Okay.
And but he knows she's on her way, and he lets her show up to the island. He goes, "I don't know. Am I putting my daughter in danger?"
Yes.
You know she is.
Yeah.
And all that what she was having to deal with her before was like an absentee-ish mom, not a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, right.
He goes, "I don't know if I'm helping her or not." You're not.
You're not.
You're not. You're making it way worse. So he picks up his daughter. She's a typical teen girl. She's sassy, but I wouldn't say they play her as like a bitch. Like she's not. She's supposed to be very sympathetic. She seems nice to everybody but her dad, which teen girl.
Yeah, but she wanted weird. Yeah, teen girl because she wanted to come see him.
Oh yeah, she's like, "This is where you grew up," and he's like all excited. He's like, "Yeah," and she goes, "It's a shithole,
bitch."
Yeah, it's teen girl shit.
Yeah,
but they show her as, you know, sassy but not a complete cunt or whatever. It's a good way of saying it.
Yeah.
And so like he picks her up from the dock and brings her to the church where Brynmore is at.
That's Brynmore.
He doesn't know anything about the attacks yet, though.
Oh, okay.
He does not.
He doesn't.
He does not.
Well,
so
Brynmore ain't speaking up. Damn.
Yeah, so that's why it was one of the other things, the interaction that Brynmore should have. All he said was, "Oh, you brought death and whatnot."
Yeah, you don't want to expand
and he kind
of
said that you people are gonna die or whatever, but he didn't express exactly what's happening.
How
so he pulls up to the church with his daughter, and Lester and his homies are there, the one from earlier, and he's got a shotgun this time. And I'm like, dude, this is what you brought your daughter into. And like he sees the guy with the shotgun, and they walk towards him. Him and his daughter walk towards him. I wouldn't do that by myself.
No.
Let alone with my fucking daughter around.
No, definitely not.
That's somebody who's never had a gun pointed at him.
These Turners aren't too bright.
They're the dump.
Or I get
to it later.
They've never been around guns.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So later, I'm gonna go on a little rant about the Turners. So at the very end, you don't wait. We're already on third issue, so like we're not even that much far from the end. So Lester's. Let me get back where I was. Lester's at the church. He goes, "Why did you come? Why did you curse us to die again? So there's some people in town that do have passed it down and do know exactly what happened.
Okay.
And Lester, that's why Lester was such a dick to Mark. He was completely justified in thinking Mark was a piece of shit. Because he is. He brought the whole thing onto the island again. So when they introduced Lester as a hillbilly idiot who is just a dick. Lester's the hero in my book.
He knows the history.
He tried to stop this before it happened. Lester's the hero.
He still did that bitch shit, though.
He did.
Yeah, that's still bitch shit. But it's okay. He's trying to save the
He was literally trying
island.
to save the island.
Yeah, these Turners suck.
Bro, they suck ass. So Lester's pointing the shotgun and like asking, why'd you do this? Blah, why'd you do this? You cursed us. And Buddy jumps up and bites Lester's arm. So he drops the shotgun. It's just a double barrel too. So as soon as he pulled the trigger twice, he wouldn't have been able to shoot anymore. Right. So he drops the shotgun. Mark runs over, picks up the shotgun, points at the whole crew. Y'all guys got to get out of here. If this was Texas, he could have just shot the whole crew and not probably gotten in trouble for it.
Right.
But like I said, it's a double barrel. So there was like 3 or 4 guys. So you're actually not gonna get everybody.
You can get your ass.
So during this whole thing, Becca was hiding in the trailer that Mark had brought. So during this whole thing, when Lester was there, because Lester was there before Mark had showed up, that means Becca had showed up first, saw that Lester was coming, hid in Mark's trailer, didn't call him and warn him, waited for there to be a gun exchange, and then popped out and was like, hey, I'm here.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, what? Why? Where? What? He's very confused. So she was like, what's going on? We have some big problems. And Brynmore just steps out of the church. I had forgotten he was in there during this whole conversation. And Lester was like up against the church. Brynmore could have stepped out and smushed Lester's head if he wanted to.
Right.
Because Brynmore's really strong. Even when he's not at full power, he's a badass.
Yeah.
So this is where Mark finally learns that other people are getting hurt, that the curse has been enacted, and people are getting dragged to the water. We see people in town getting dragged to the water. Even in like downtown, they grab them and they drag them all the way to the water. They bring him the whole way. And this is where he finds out. Mark introduces Brynmore around. He's like, hey, this is Becca. This is my daughter, Sophie. And Sophie's like, I think he's a good guy. Like, out of nowhere.
Talking about Brynmore.
Yeah. I was like, oh, my God. These interactions.
Well, he's not slaughtering us, so
we
can
I was
assume
like, God, these interactions are terrible. Like,
yeah, that's weird.
Fuck this.
It's like
then,
Shyamalan writing,
So she explains what's going on. Brynmore still doesn't explain. Becca explains to him, like, oh, the monsters are coming out of the sea and dragging people. He's like, what? What are we going to do? And then she goes, look, they're coming this way. And they're like breaking through the trees, like walking towards them. So they run in the church. They hide in the church. And they ask Brynmore, they go, we can kill them, right? And he goes, no, they don't die. They only sleep. He goes, so if I shoot their head off, what's going to happen? He goes, well, they'll just keep going or whatever. So they're not normal, like, biological zombies.
Right.
They're, like,
standard.
Ghosts,
not
basically.
Standard. Yeah, right.
And so, like, they only magic type shit is going to be able to do anything to these. So they kind of discuss, oh, what the hell are we going to do? And then they find out the zombies actually can't come into the church proper. Nice. So they have, like, a safe spot in the church for right now.
Yeah.
So we see Lester and the crew had gotten away during that little scuffle. Mm. They got away and they're trying to leave the island, and the ferry is overrun. And so they can't get away.
With zombies or people?
Yeah, zombies.
Oh.
So, like, they try to get away. They can't get away. They get stuck. And I think it's the whole crew gets taken. The whole crew dies, basically. They get surrounded by the zombies and get taken and drowned. Mm. So Lester's whole crew is, like, gone. They're all dead.
The bitch boys.
Yeah, and then so now they're like, what are we going to do about this this horde? And he goes, Brynmore's like, I'm not strong enough. I need power. So they go downstairs and they do some magic crap. It's stupid. It's really dumb. And they do pull some magic crap to give him back his, like, full powers. Okay. So he's all powerful now. He looks slightly different. His eyes are glowing green.
Does he grow wings? Does he have wings?
No. He's like I said, he's kind of like a skin scarecrow, so he's got a lot of sticks and leaves and stuff like in him.
Oh yeah, because he's made of the island.
Made pieces of the island.
Cool.
So that brings us to the last issue. There was 5. I thought there was only 4. There was 5. The last issue. So Brynmore is powered up. He walks outside and just starts fighting an entire island of magical zombies.
Right.
He's kind of getting whooped. Oh, he's covered up. Oh, we got to help Brynmore. He's going to die. Rah! He hulks out, knocks the zombies off him, and then pulls a Popeye and goes, I need my power. And he sucks like green energy and like pine needles from the trees and like sucks the life energy out of the trees.
Captain Planet.
Yes. And exactly. Like, or like, spirit bomb shit. He's collecting the life force.
Nice.
So now he looks like more leafy, more like a tree and shit.
Cool.
And now he's not fighting the zombies anymore. Now he's full power, and now he's the Pied Piper of zombies, and he's leading them back to the water. Kind of what he did the first time.
Right.
Because Brynmore beat him up and killed some of them, but the point was he took him to the water.
He got rid of them,
and made him go to sleep. So that's what he's doing. He's leading the whole crew to the water. He leads them back into the water, goes away, and they're like, it's over. We're all done. And then like the sun comes back out, and they're like, it's all over. And then Brynmore pops back out, and he looks like he did at the beginning, all worn down and like not all leafy and cool look anymore. And he goes, it's not done yet. We have to seal me up. That's the only way. Only the last heir of the Turners can do it. So Sophie, Mark's daughter, has to bury him. And they put the pieces of the old coffin on him. And then you see that Buddy's okay because he got smacked away earlier.
Nice, yep,
He didn't get shot or nothing. He just got smacked away, and you don't know what happens. They didn't even imply that he was dead or hurt.
Right.
You just didn't see. So now they show Buddy run back up. And he's like, Buddy's okay. So they make a big point of that. That was cool.
Good.
So Brynmore lays that back down in the ground so they can pour concrete on him and put him back to sleep. And they like real quickly like, you sure there's not anything else we can do? Like, because you're, not a bad person or a bad thing or whatever. He goes, it's the only way. And they go, okay. And they throw him in the ground. And they bury him in the ground. And so they do that, and Sophie has to do the whole thing. So she does it. They walk up the stairs. They seal up the staircase down, the podium or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm going to read this last part verbatim. It's only a couple panels. So they go up, they push the podium back, and this is Mark speaking. He goes, what a mess. They're looking around in there inside. And his daughter goes, so what's going on? You turning this into your house? And he goes, that's the plan. I could use some help. And then his daughter goes, cool. Did you forget? The whole island knows that you just got 90% of them murdered?
It's like
Did you forget about that part?
Epilogue. Lester shows back up like, hey, we're
Lester's
not done.
family murders him 10 minutes after this issue's over. Right. What?
Yeah. It's
Niles!
just over.
Niles! Steve! Steve! My brother in Christ! I love your writing. You're one of my favorite horror writers. Did you not write this? Or did somebody give you $40 in a bet?
Put your name on it.
And made a bet that you had to do this one? None of the interactions.
Phoned it in. Okay, so there is some cool ideas there.
Yeah.
There's some really cool stuff. But
There is.
I like some of it.
Bro, he literally got... So, not the whole town knows exactly what's going on, but most of the town knows about the Turner curse and whatnot.
Yeah, and also a lot of their family members are now
just
underwater.
got pulled and are dead.
Yeah.
It just happened.
So say Sophie grows up, has a bunch of kids, and they have kids, and then they bust that thing back open. Does the added
the new
amounts
ones come back. For sure.
Right?
For sure.
That's
no way
crazy.
not.
It could have been cool.
Bro, so I love Steve Niles. And I was trying to think of what they would call fans. And I was like, ooh, he's got a bad one. I was like, the Steve Nile files and shit like that.
Nile files.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
So I was because I'll keep saying it. I love Steve Niles. I love his writing.
You should stop saying it this episode, but
no, I will. Because I want to also be able to say, what the fuck was this?
right.
What the fuck was
For as
this?
much as you love him, you will judge him on some subpar work.
It's just I'm not a hypocrite about that sort of stuff. Just because I really like somebody
It's a
doesn't
swing
make
and a
them
miss, bro.
Immune to criticism.
I mean, you don't know what was going on. Maybe he had to pay rent or something.
Everything felt so weird and wooden. And
The conversations were very awkward,
so bad.
how they spoke. I see the concept there, and I see the story of what he was trying to do, and it really could have been interesting. But
Right.
what did it go into characters? Is there a arc for Turner?
No, that's what I'm
Like
saying.
there isn't. He didn't learn
It
anything.
shows you. Oh, I got divorced because I was an alcoholic and a drug addict, and that comes up only in the fact that he gets drunk and opens the thing.
Yeah.
So there's just that.
He didn't learn anything.
No, I didn't really change along the way. And he somehow thinks he's going to live in this community and build that church into his house.
As soon as he finishes it, they like burn it down.
Dude, he has to go into town to get like wood and supplies and stuff. First of all, everyone's dead for the most part.
Yeah, who's going to run the town?
Who are you going to get your wood from when this...
I guess he'll just go take it because they're all gone.
So that ending, it pissed me
Real
off.
quick, if OG Turner wouldn't have sealed up Brendan, what's his name? Brynmore. Yeah, if he didn't seal him up, the zombies would have come back eventually, right?
So that if you work just by logic, that seems like how it would.
Tells me.
But I guess just because they stay away when he's in the thing.
Yeah.
But they're also staying away when he's alive too.
Yeah.
Remember, he gets rid of them and he's hanging out for a little while.
That's what I was curious about. Was if he just kept hanging out, they would eventually come back.
I don't think so.
Like. So because they broke the seal, now the curse is...
Now he's... restarts it? Like, I don't know,
it's
bro.
Evolved. The curse is evolved.
Don't know.
So yeah, like I said, I see the concept.
So let's do the faces real quick.
Oh, yeah.
How are the faces?
How are the
I
faces?
actually did like the faces in it. They're cool. I mean, very cartoony with very large eyes, but I thought they were cool. Especially the zombie faces and the monster faces are awesome. Yeah, those are cool. Those are outstanding. Everybody else's faces are just like, oh, okay, cool. Mm-hmm. They're exaggerated. Their eyes are really big. Like I said, their eyes are really big, and they're not perfectly proportioned, realistic faces, but you don't have to be for it to be good.
No, not at all. Mine were like super long,
exaggerated,
crazy looking. All right, man, you ready for this Donnybrook here? This fisticuffs?
That's right.
All right, this is our segment, Matt versus Adam. This is where we take one of those random character generators online, and we see who would win in a fight between who I get and who he gets. It's 0-0, brother.
Yeah, basically.
No, it's 15-15. We
That's
tied.
Crazy.
So we got Marvel, DC, video game, and cartoon characters. I believe we are doing video game.
Yeah, that's the longest. It's been the longest.
You go first.
Okay.
I always go first.
Yeah, you do. All right.
Click it. Don't lie. Just click it once. It takes a minute.
I got it. Somebody. Okay, all right. Not the best one, but that's pretty damn good. I got Bowser.
Oh, we already got Bowser.
We did, didn't we?
I got Bowser.
I remember now. Okay. Yeah. Didn't we have him too? Captain Price from Call of Duty? No, we had somebody else.
No. Okay.
Okay. God damn it.
You're just a regular dude?
Kind of regular
No,
dude.
you're actually, let me take that back.
Yeah.
You're a fucking superhero,
I'm a
bro.
human. You can say that.
You're human. Yeah. That dude's a beast.
Yeah.
We got Arthur Morgan from Red Dead 2 versus...
we had him before.
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. We
had Nathan Drake versus him.
And then we had the dude from Last of Us.
Yeah, Joel.
Yeah, we haven't had...
Okay.
I think we might have had someone from Red Dead maybe, but I don't think so.
I thought we did.
I don't
Maybe
think we
not.
did.
Maybe
I don't think we've had Arthur Morgan. Yeah. We had Trevor from GTA.
So
that was it.
Yeah. So,
Dante, Bowser.
So Captain Price is super badass.
And I'm a cowboy.
And you're a cowboy.
We both kind of exhibit some crazy shit. Although Red Dead is closer to realistic than I would say Call of Duty is. Dude, you gotta like feed your horse and shit. It's super real. Captain Price is like driving rafts off of fucking waterfalls.
Yeah, think of you're jumping a horse over trains and shit.
It's true. That's what I said. I'm slightly peak human. How about that?
Peak I didn't even try to look it up yet.
Well, I mean, there's really no powers to look up.
No, I know.
How do you fucking spell Arthur? No, that's not right either. How do you spell Arthur? A-U-T-H-U? Okay. Nope.
Let's see.
How do you spell Arthur?
A-R-T-H-U-R.
Oh my gosh. I don't know why that was so difficult. It's not even going to say powers or any. Oh, I do got powers and skills. Oh, yeah. So the arena here is 2 blocks in downtown Houston. So people, everyone around, puppies, little babies, all types of stuff. We see each other and it's fight on sight.
Ooh.
Actually does list powers and
Mine
skills.
too, mine
All right,
too.
you want to go?
Yeah, I'll go.
Okay.
Military training and knowledge, genius level intellect,
Ooh.
wisdom, indomitable will, charisma, intimidation, marksmanship, leadership, weapon proficiency, hand-to-hand combatant, stealth expertise, skilled tactician, multilingual, interrogation expert, master swimmer, brute strength, high pain tolerance, and vast connections.
Same. Literally, so many you just
The
named.
same shit.
I got high intelligence, intimidation, indomitable will,
Yep.
charisma, tactical analysis, master combatant,
That's
brute strength,
funny.
durability, endurance, stamina, reflexes, leadership, marksmanship, hunting and survival skills, horseback riding, and weapons expert.
Yeah,
So
that's so funny.
I'm you in the 1800s.
So we didn't have prep time, so we're just have you have your two pistols on your belt because you would walk around with two
and
pistols
my
on.
rifle would be on my horse,
On your horse, sure,
which
sure,
is
sure.
on the side of the street probably.
Sure. Okay, so I'll let you have a horse. Okay, cool.
No,
you have that
what
horse.
do you have?
No, nothing. We're gonna keep going.
You're right, I got soap.
Yeah. So I have. I wasn't even gonna say since you don't have your rifle
No,
on you.
I was saying
Exactly.
I don't have it.
So I just have my one carry on me.
Well, going by Call of Duty, you would have a primary
Hidden
and a
on
secondary,
the back, on the back.
and you would have a couple of grenades and flashbangs.
I was gonna say if you had shit at your horse, then I just had a supply drop somewhere.
Oh right, no, but I would assume you have more guns than
That's
me.
what I was gonna say. So I'm
Standard what he's carrying.
I'm wearing the best body armor on Earth.
And I have no body armor.
So as far as things, we have so many things that are similar. We're both very good shots.
It's going to be a good fight.
But you have probably 12 rounds on you.
I got dead eye.
True.
I got dead eye.
I mean, you got 12 rounds on you, probably. And in my one clip, I most likely have 17
yeah,
or 20 rounds.
And you got a handgun.
Yeah. Well, I was talking about the handgun.
Well, then you
even.
got how many in an
It's
assault?
30 in one
Yep.
clip, usually.
You got a 30 in the assault rifle.
Yeah.
So you definitely got the
So the gun
greater
difference isn't
firepower.
insane because we're not a million miles apart and whatnot. We're like semi-close. So me having the better guns it is an advantage towards me, but the more advantage is the body armor by a lot.
Also the landscape.
Yeah.
You're definitely more used to firing and fighting in a city setting.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm a cowboy, dude. I'm used to rocks and old wooden
True.
houses and
True,
stuff.
true.
So
Yeah.
although I might thrive in the city with my cover and shoot
That's
tactics.
what I was going to say. You have more places to cover and reload because you're going to have to reload like
Okay,
crazy.
you want to do percentages?
Yeah,
50-50.
I would
60,
say
40?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I think so because I definitely
Body armor.
because
is
it's just
so
the right
huge.
shot.
Yeah, that's why
get-
it's not a huge difference.
I turn my dead eye on,
agree.
headshot.
I agree.
But one-on-one on site, I think you take
Yes.
that. You definitely have more guns.
Yeah.
You're more trained too. You have more tactical
disciplined,
training.
even though that it's not saying you're some crazy person.
No.
But like my entire life is discipline,
yeah, dude. I mean,
and I'm not
it said-
a young guy
and it
either.
said Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 or just.
All of them through, right?
Well, I was thinking, what have you done? You've obviously done a lot.
Main protagonist of the Call of Duty franchise.
No, I know he
original
was Modern Warfare.
sub-series.
Yeah,
So
I just meant with the filter, what it said, because mine is Red Dead 2.
Oh, it
specifically.
didn't say which one. Oh,
Yeah,
no,
I think
no.
yours said 3, which would mean you've done 1 and 2 already.
Right.
So, yeah, he's a monster, dude.
Yeah.
He's a monster. Attack bases that are absolutely filled with bad guys.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, Arthur doesn't...
Bad guys with machine guns too.
Exactly. Arthur can't operate there. I think you couldn't drop him in a Call of Duty setting and he'd be all right.
No.
He would make it, but not far.
Yeah.
He's also not used to those guns. I have limited firepower because I have rifles, a throwing knife, a tomahawk, and a bow and arrow and shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not much. That's definitely you.
Yeah, but I agree the 60-40. It's
Yeah.
not like I'm wiping you out every
No,
single time.
It's just it's
That
just
would be a
really
lie.
luck of the shot.
Yeah.
If I can stay down until you run out of ammo, or I can have that tactical advantage of you and just get that one good shot. Same with you. If you get that one good shot,
I've
it's
seen it
over.
in movies before, but I know it happens in real life, like where two people will kind of be in a standoff, and one of them's like, "Ha ha, you have a 22." Like, I have this big caliber gun. You're going to die easier than I would die. It's a bullet.
It's a bullet.
It can kill you. Doesn't matter. It can kill you. That's the
This
point
one
of a
has
bullet.
less killing power.
Yeah, like...
Okay, it's
Oh,
still
cool.
killing, though.
I have way more than one shot, bro.
Yeah.
So it's the same idea. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like a bullet's a bullet. That shit's going to kill you.
It's gonna
If you get
kill
hit
you.
by a bullet. It's
What
gonna
about a
kill
little
you.
tiny little Derringer?
So, like, back in the day, they made Derringers that were so weak, even if you were standing next to somebody, they made some where you probably wouldn't even die.
Yeah.
But they also made, so a lot of the times, the weak pistols like that were parlor pistols.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like almost a full-size pistol, but they shoot wax bullets or wood bullets with a lower charge.
Parlor as in bar, so
Yeah,
you're
like
not
you're
meant
inside.
to kill your
no,
patrons.
it's for inside. It's for like shooting inside, basically.
Right, okay.
But yeah, so like they've in the past, there was plenty of guns that probably wouldn't kill a person even up close.
But that's just poorly made then. Did
The
they
black
make
powder,
them
it
to
was
do
because
that?
they were black powder. I'm just saying they also had the parlor guns, but even like a Saturday Night Special way back in the day, like a little pocket pistol.
Yeah.
Like way back now, I'm talking like before the 20s.
Mm-hmm.
There was plenty of them that probably didn't kill anybody.
Right.
But as soon as all like 22 and up, 22 long and up, after that, and as long as your barrel's more than like an inch or so, then you can just die. You're gonna die.
You're going to die.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. All right, so for more gun talk, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook. Technically, we're on X, but we don't use it.
Nope.
So if y'all show up, we'll start using it, but till then, no. So Facebook, Instagram, new episodes release every Monday on every podcast platform, and visuals along with the podcast on YouTube.
That's right.
It releases Monday as well. So if you've been listening, liking, subscribing, which is the best way to help us out, rate, review, like, subscribe, all that internet stuff.
Any of it.
So if you've done that, we appreciate it. And if you are just listening, we also appreciate that. So that is the episode for this week.
Hey, guy from Belgium, hit us up.
Adam's not going to give this up. We really want...
I'm just going to, when I remember, I'm going to say it.
We like to joke that he doesn't speak English and he just listens to us. So in our analytics, we can see that someone in Belgium has been jamming us every single episode.
Yeah.
And we appreciate it
Hell yeah.
very much. And we wanted to know how he found us. If he's really in Belgium, how did he come across the podcast?
Yeah.
But we like to joke that he listens to it to go to sleep because he
Yeah.
doesn't speak English, so he just likes our voices maybe. He has no clue that we're talking about him right now.
No idea.
Adam has asked multiple times, and this dude has not answered. It's now a mission
He
of
listens
Adam's.
to every episode.
Every episode. We have 31. He's at 30 right
30,
now
yeah.
until he gets to the new one. So
Yeah.
if you're hearing this, man, just get on
Hit us up on
Instagram.
Instagram, please.
Instagram, dude.
Yeah.
Flipping pages with Matt and
I think
Adam.
it's flipping pages 24, maybe.
No, that's
on
our
Instagram.
our
okay.
side of it.
Okay.
So yeah, just type in flipping
That's
pages
right.
with Matt and Adam, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify, all the podcasts. We pop up.
Yeah.
We're even on Google. I think if you type in the full name, we pop up.
Yeah, if you go far enough.
Yeah. No, I think we pop up
Meaning
now.
you type our name in all the way.
Yeah. Oh, the full name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You can't just do flipping pages.
No,
That's a lot
other
of stuff.
stuff will come
The
up.
full title, flipping pages with, Matt and
Matt and
Adam.
Adam.
So Belgium guy, anyone else, just come holler
Just hit
at
us
us.
up.
Yeah.
Well, I'll
we-
respond. I won't respond right away because I'm bad at responding right away. But yes, I will see it and I'll hit you back.
We are not social media guys,
I have to force myself.
which is, that's why we're actually curious how anyone
Yeah.
who listens finds us. So again, if you don't know us personally,
That
go
too.
find us on Instagram.
Yeah.
Give us a follow. But more importantly, hit us up. Let us
Yeah.
know how you found it.
Yeah.
We would love to know that.
Yeah.
And we love to chat with people
Yeah.
listening because we know you're out there.
I'll talk about comics we've done.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll take suggestions, but I'll listen to suggestions.
Oh, for
That's
sure.
For sure.
Also, there's some Russia and Canada listeners. If y'all are hearing this, hit us up too.
Yeah,
We'd love to
it's
hear
awesome.
the same stuff.
Hell yeah.
All right. So, yeah, that's the episode. Y'all have a good one.
Bye.